Loops are essential in nearly every programming language. In this video, you'll see the basics of loops in Python. So by the end of the video, you should be able to write a Python program which uses a loop. In the top here we have some code from C, but this probably looks familiar to anyone who knows Java or C++ as well. What's the equivalent code in Python? Overall, the syntax is pretty similar, but there are some differences, particularly with the for loop itself. But first, let's notice that our print statement here is indented. Indenting in Python is the same as putting a block of code in brackets in C, C++, or Java. If you're new to Python, this lack of brackets becomes second nature pretty quickly. Second, notice that we've combined the start, I equals 0, and the end, I is less than 10, into one part of the loop right at the end. Let's look at how this range function works. Range returns the values between start and stop. For the start parameter, range is inclusive, so it will start with 0. For the end parameter, it's exclusive, so it will stop at one fewer than 10, or 9. It will increase by the value in step, or it will just default to 1. So as a result, this call to range will give us the values 0 through 9. Okay, let's see if this is making sense so far. What do you think the code above will print? If you guessed it's going to print all the even values between 0 and 8, you're correct. By setting step to equal 2, it starts at 0, increases by 2, and then stops before it hits 10. So it'll print 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8. Okay, one more. I really want to make sure you're understanding how range is working. So take a second, pause the video, and figure out what you should put in the missing part of this code for the for loop. This one was a bit more tricky. Bravo if you got it correct. And there were a few answers which would produce the same result, so you don't necessarily have to have the exact same as I have here. In the solution above, we start at 2, we increase by 3, and then we stop at 12. Though you could replace 12 with 13 or 14 and actually get the same result. So why do we do these additional examples with range? Because range can be really useful both when first learning Python and when we start diving into data analysis. For completeness sake, I want to point out that we can do the same thing with the while loop, which may prove valuable in scenarios when we don't know when the condition will finish or when the increment is more complex. The while loop has the standard components you'd expect. Here we have the setup, I equals 2, the condition to test, which will cause the loop to continue as long as it remains true, and the updating of a variable, which is part of the loop condition. Let's make sure we're on top of loops by having a quick quiz.